After another few nights, he hears the Count say, "Tonight is mine, tomorrow night is yours." He opens the door to find the three women and closes the door immediately and begins to pray for his safety. He wakes up early the next day, deciding that he needs to do something about his situation, and climbs back down to the Count's room. He notices this time, when he opens the box, that the Count looks much younger and has blood coming from the corner of his mouth. He takes a shovel and swings it towards the Count's head in an attempt to kill him, but it just bounces off the Count's forehead. After this, he takes some of Dracula's gold and descends the wall. His injury ends with him saying, "Goodbye all, Mina." The next part of the book, we are introduced to the character of Mina Murray by her writing a letter to Lucy, saying that she has received a letter from Jonathan that he is coming home. Mina is an assistant schoolmistress who has studied shorthand and typewriting. She is also the fiancée of Jonathan Harker. We are introduced through her reply to Lucy Westenra. She is one of Mina's close friends, and we find out that she has had several proposals, but has accepted one from Arthur Holmwood. One of those proposals was from a man named Dr. John Seward. He is a doctor and the director of a lunatic asylum located in London. He notes in his journal that he is very upset about Lucy's rejection of his proposal, but that he also has a very interesting new patient named Renfield. Renfield is a follower to Count Dracula and has a curious case of being zoophagous, which means life-eating. He sets traps by placing sugar out, which attracts flies. He then uses the flies to attract spiders, and spiders to attract swallows, which he then eats. We are brought back to Mina, who is very upset because she has not heard from Jonathan in over a month. She is getting worried about Lucy as well, because she has begun to sleepwalk. One night, Mina wakes up and finds Lucy's bed empty. She goes outside and finds her laying on a bench with a dark figure bending over her. Mina walks towards them, and the figure turns, revealing a pale face and gleaming red eyes. But when Mina finally reaches them, the figure is gone and Lucy's asleep, gasping for breath. Mina wraps her shawl around her, and when she wakes, she finds two little red points like pinpricks on her neck. Mina decides that she must have accidentally pricked Lucy while pinning the shawl onto her. Lucy tries to sleepwalk again the next night, but Mina stops it by locking her bedroom door. The two go for a walk where they see the same dark figure again. The following night, Mina finds Lucy sitting up in bed, pointing at the window, where there is a bat flying outside it. Lucy grows pale and weak, and the puncture wounds grow larger, and Mina is extremely worried about her mother, and Jonathan, who is still missing. We then read from Mina's diary that Lucy's health is seemingly improving, and that they have received news that Jonathan is shown up in a hospital in Budapest, suffering from a brain fever. Mina immediately prepares herself and leaves England to be with Jonathan. We switch to hearing from Seward, telling us that Renfield has become violent and boastful. One night, he escapes and runs to Carfax, where he is found pressing against the door of the chapel on the estate and calling out to his master and promising obedience. They take him back to his cell, and he begs his master to be patient. Mina writes from Budapest, saying that Jonathan remembers nothing of Transylvania, and that he is a wreck of himself. He still has his diary, and knows that whatever is causing his brain fever must be recorded in it. He gives it to Mina, and tells her that she must not ever tell anyone what is inside, unless it is a dire emergency. She agrees and seals it with wax, promising not to open it unless his situation calls for it. The couple decides to marry immediately. Renfield has suddenly become much more calm and mumbles repeatedly, I can wait, I can wait." But only a few days later, he escapes once again and turns up at the chapel. Renfield tries to attack Seward and his attendants this time when they come to take him back, but becomes suddenly calm when he sees a bat flying across the face of the moon. Lucy begins a diary and writes about her bad dreams and experiences. Her fiancé, Arthur Holmwood, notices that she has become pale and weak again and writes to Dr. Seward, asking for him to come examine her. He does so, and says that this is beyond his experience, and sends for his old teacher, Professor von Helsing of Amsterdam. He arrives, examines Lucy, and returns home, asking to be kept updated about her condition. He does not know exactly what caused Lucy's sickness, but knows that she has lost much of her blood. Renfield has resumed catching flies to catch sparrows, and when Seward comes to see Renfield again during sunset, Renfield tosses out his file, saying he is sick of all that rubbish. Lucy starts to show improvement, but takes a sudden turn for the worst, and Seward immediately telegrams Von Helsing, begging him to come back. He does, and finds her even more pale than before and unable to breathe easily. He transfuses some of Holmwood's blood to Lucy and further examines her. He sees the marks on her neck and is convinced that these are what causes her blood loss, but he has no explanation for them. Seward stays up and watches Lucy overnight, and she wakes up feeling much better.